basically everything that we have seen in this particular packet, I might have grabbed a little something from the first one, but everything is going to be straight out of it. Now, I'm not going to go back to the packet and say, yeah, this one's on page 4, this one's on page 8, but you might want to even have your packet handy, and as we're doing this stuff, you might find it in there and be like, oh yeah, I need to keep track of this and that. So we'll see. But if I do something that kind of makes you hit your head, well, let me know that too, because we don't want you doing that on the quiz tomorrow. Okay, first one. We'll try and be as interactive as we can here. Mrs. Smith made $45,678 this year as a social worker. Each year, her salary will rise 7% for the next 3 years. Well, that'd be nice. What will Mrs. Smith's salary be in 2025? Okay, first thing. This year is 2023, okay? So when I'm figuring this out, in 2023, Mrs. Smith is worth this much, okay? For me to get to the final answer, I've got a year in between that I have to get to. So when I go to do 2024, I'm getting a 7% raise. So again, 7% divided by 100 is 0.07. So there's two ways you can tackle this. We chatted about it when we did it in the unit. You can just multiply times the rate. Now, that is not the amount that she makes in 2024. That'd be a serious pay cut. No, you're going to add this to what she made last year. And that's going to be well, oops, not point, Hardy. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to make this woman make no money. Now, just a side trick, because we talked about this when we did it. If you don't want to have to do 2 steps to get here, you can, back at the first step with the 0.07, make it 1.07, and it'll go straight to the answer. Because when you do it by the 1 point, you're taking 100% of her salary and then adding the 7% on. So 2 pieces works. 1 big piece works, but make sure her salary is going up by the year and not going down. And then we got to play that game one more time for 2025. So hopefully we got 2024 right. And again, I'm going to do the 1.07 this time just because I want you to be able to see that, have that as an option. 48. 875, 46 times 1.07. So let's see here. We'd be up to 52,296.74. Again, we're talking about money, so we're not going to like 3, 4, 5 decimal places. Just going to 2, and we're good. But again, I could have just multiplied by 0.07 again and added that. That would be okay. But again, it's smart to show me your work, because if something went haywire somewhere, let's say on accident you did 0.7 instead, or you forgot to add the part in. If I can see what you're doing, I can find credit for things. It's usually not too hard for me to do. Okay. Back to simple. If Joel makes $13.75 per hour and works 35 hours each week, calculate his weekly income. Okay, I'm not even going to go crazy with this one. $13.75, 35 hours. Okay. $481.25. To get the rest, though, they're going to keep building off of each other. So for me to go from weekly to monthly, 4 weeks will get me to monthly. So I'm going to multiply that by 4 weeks. Nothing else I have to do. And when I get monthly by multiplying by 4 weeks, oh dear. Yep, that is completely helpful towards this. Absolutely. Monthly going to yearly. How many months are in a year? 12. So I'm going to take that. Oops. If I get here, multiply by 12. Now, I will not guarantee that tomorrow will be the exact same weekly to monthly to yearly. Maybe I go, I don't know, hourly to weekly to monthly. It could vary, but the idea is going to be the same. It's just going to flow. And again, these values, weekly to monthly to yearly, whatever that is, they're all in your packet. It's in the first 2 or 3 pages in there of where all the conversions are if that's something that you need. So just something to consider. If Jenna makes $95,750 yearly working 40 hours per week, calculate her hourly rate to the nearest cent. We're like, okay. So let's see here. Ooh. All the numbers I need are not sitting here right in the face. So let's break this down like we've broken down the other ones. Okay, there's my yearly. Let's get down to weekly first. Okay, so this is the whole year. To get to a week, okay, how many weeks are in a year? 52. We're going to divide, not multiply, because we're getting smaller. We're going to divide by 52. So let's see here. 18, 41, 35. Okay. Now we're down to a week. Now, within that week, Jenna works 40 hours. So if I take her weekly pay and she works 40 hours a week, and I divide it by 40, dang, Jenna not doing bad. 4603. And I'll say just like I did on number 2, no guarantee we're going from year to week to hour. I might say, here's yearly, what does she make, per month? What does she make per... I may change that up a little, not a ton. The idea or the flow is going to work the same, though. So read carefully, okay, on what it is you're looking for. You're like, okay, not too complex so far. Pieces, but not complex. Romy makes $22.25 per hour as a welder in a shop. He receives an extra $1.25 per part he welds, over $150 in a week. Okay, we got 2 separate things going on here. So I'm going to color code things. And again, if you ever want colors for things, you absolutely can get those from the back and kind of do this too. So there's my base rate. Okay. He worked 45 hours. Ooh, don't forget OT is 1.5 times pay because we've got to break this up into 2 things. 40 regular hours and the 5 overtime hours that he's going to get. So when I'm calculating this, I'm not going to be able to just do one number. I'm going to have, and I'm going to actually label all this. So regular. 40 hours at $22.25. And again, the more you can show me, the more likely if there's a boo-boo somewhere, I can get you points. So we do regular. Then we're going to do OT. 5 hours times 1.5 times the pay, times his hourly rate. So we don't want to forget the OT. You're like, okay, now I'm good. Oh, wait a minute. He gets $1.25 per part that he welds over 150, and he did 275. So, last piece to put in here. For the parts, 275 minus 150, because he doesn't get paid until he goes over 150. So he's going to have 125 parts times $1.25 that he gets for each one. So we're going to take all the pieces that we've done in this unit and add them all up. Oh, let's see here. Oops. Hang on, I started typing too fast and I got the wrong number in there. That's better. Not quite so sure about all the 13s, but hey, we're going to be okay. So let's even say that you were doing this one and you were like, okay, I understand the regular hours, I understand the overtime, this parts thing I don't get. Cool. Do the regular and the overtime and add them up. You're still going to get like 3 out of the 4 points. So again, just don't stop on something. At least do the parts so you're feeling okay with. That's all I'll kind of say there. Okay. Oh, we got a chart. All right. Michelle makes a 7.5% commission. I like to do this as I go, so I don't forget. On sales of refrigerators, and 12.4% on sales of mattresses. She also receives a weekly salary of $350. Use the chart below to determine her pay for this fortnight. 2 weeks of pay. So you're like, okay. So when I'm figuring this out, price times the units sold, 33.54. Okay, that's not what she's getting. Sales times the percent. So here, it's a fridge, 7.5%. So there's what Michelle is going to get for selling fridges this week. Well, over this time period, this 2 weeks. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. So we got 32.67 in mattresses. But mattresses, we get a higher commission. So we just multiply. So 0.124, that decimal that we got up here. Now, here's the other part I got to be careful of in this problem. It's going to be tempting to just add up the commissions and say, okay, I'm good. I mean, even if I did, let's go ahead and add those up. Holy cow, 6s. That was close. Okay. That's just my commission part. There's one other piece to this. She also gets $350 every week. Thank you. So, 2 weeks times $350 a week is $700 that I'm getting in salary. Plus that. This is why I will continue to say throughout this video and in class 2, every part you do is points. So again, if you forget about the salary part, just give me that. You're still going to get a significant amount of points. So Just make sure as the pieces are working through that you've got that. Nothing complex. Okay. Alex made $3,145 in June on his YouTube channel and $2,677 in July on his channel. How much did Alex make per hour in June if he worked 17 hours per week? Okay. June is a month. So, first thing, 4 weeks in a month, typically, times 17 hours a week. Alex worked 68 hours in June on his page, or his channel. So now I can take the June money and divide it by the number of hours he worked. Not too shabby, Alex. 46.25. So 46.25 per hour. I would take that. How much did Alex make per hour in July if he worked 14 hours per week? Exact same setup. 4 weeks, less hours. Must take a little vacay time here. Okay. So 4 weeks at 14 hours is 56 hours. And just like we did there, there's my July money. All right, what do we get here? Oops, got to move this up a bit or we're not going to see. 47.80. Now, the third question this time is how much more per hour did Alex make in July than June? Not total how much. Okay, I'm not just subtracting these, I'm subtracting these. So 47.80 minus 46.25 is $1.55 per hour. Let's just say there's a possibility tomorrow that I might say which month was his higher rate. I may not tell you like I did here which one it's going to be. You may have to say, oh, he made more in July. Okay. So again, don't assume, but it'll be close. It'll be real close. All right, we're closing in here. I promised my employees a 6.5% bonus. Okay, let's keep making these changes right away. On their yearly income for great work this year. If Morgan earned $4,713 per month this year, what would her bonus be? Okay, first issue. She makes $4,713 per month. How many months are in a year? Okay. So 13 times 12, 56, 556. Per year. Now I have the yearly income. That's step one. Step two, now on that amount of money, I'm going to get this 6.5% bonus. $36.76.14. And that's actually what I'm being asked for. I wasn't asking what did she make for the entire year, where I'd add them together. Just asking what's the bonus. That's my bonus. I'm good. But I got to get it to the right part. Like, maybe. Again, everything you're seeing here is directly coming, just with little changes here and there for some of the sheets that we did. So, not that we're gonna hold any punches back here. Okay, last page. Ethan makes $47.65 per hour as a building contractor on skyscrapers. He earns an extra $12.35 per hour on work he does over 80 feet in the air. If Ethan works, so I noticed there's two different things here. There's Ethan's regular rate. And if he's over 80 feet in the air, he gets that extra $12.35. He's not making $12.35, he gets more, which means he's making $60 an hour when he's way up there higher than I'd ever be willing to go. That's important to know because, as we read the last sentence, if Ethan worked 20 hours this week at 40 feet in the air, that's still under 80, so 20 at his regular rate, and another 15 hours at 100 feet in the air, oh, that's over 80. So 15 times 60, because he gets the bonus. How much did Ethan take home for pay this week? So I just got to multiply both of these out. So 953 normal. I know this one, but I'll do it anyway. 900 on the tall stuff. We've got Ethan's take home for this week. I think he should be getting more than $12.35 an hour for being up that high. More, that's a different issue. So again, pieces going together and just separating them out. Okay. Michaela is going to be taking her yearly holiday pay next week. If Michaela made $137,900 last year, calculate her holiday pay if she earns 17.5% of 4 weeks of pay. You're like, okay, Hardy, this is crazy. Not really. First things first. Here comes another one of our little sketches here. For the year, she makes $137,900. Let me read a little further. We need to get this down to weeks. Okay? So, $52 weeks in a year. Now, I realize that that's not the exact number that I want at this point. So I'm going to move this a little so I can write it. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I'm all sorts of messed up there. 26. Sorry about that. 51.92. But again, that's per week. I need 4 weeks pay. So, multiply that by 4. Organized, well-oiled machine. Okay, so it took us 2 steps to go from yearly to weekly back up to the 4. I have had people ask me in the past, could I just go to monthly since 4 weeks technically is monthly? You're going to end up with less if you do that. So I'd avoid that and stick to the weeks. And then finally, she's going to get 17.5% of that. Again, decimally, people. Decimally. Okay, so there's her holiday pay, her holiday bonus, her her vacay pay, whatever one of the many things we call these things is going to be. But again, just going into pieces to calculate that out. Stuff like this is good to know because a lot of you are going to get involved with jobs at some point that are going to have vacation pay, bonuses, things like that. You want to make sure that you're not getting messed over by employers. They're not always doing it on purpose, but it does happen. It's happened here a few times, so you just kind of work with it. Okay, last one. Hallelujah. AJ makes $9.35 per hour as a waiter at the restaurant. He makes about $110 per day on tips. If, it doesn't want to go by AJ anymore. We're back to Alex again. Okay. If Alex works, and yes, it is the same person. I'm not trying to trick you there with things. Works Monday through Thursday for 7.5 hours per day and 8 hours on Sunday. How much will Alex make this week? Okay, let's get a couple things out of the way here. Monday through Thursday is 4 days. So, right off the bat, 4 days times 7.5 is 30 hours. And 8 hours on Sunday. Now, okay, Hardy. He's working on Sunday. Is he getting time and a half? Is he getting double? It doesn't mention that anywhere on here. So if it doesn't mention it on a weekend, they're just assumed it's regular days like everything else. And he didn't make it to 40, so, tough nanners, you're working on Sunday. Here we go. So, here's my hours. Here's my hourly wage. At first, I'm feeling a little bad for AJ. I'm like, oh, dang, you worked 38 hours. You only got $355. What the heck? But then I remember, oh no, he gets $110 a day on tips. 4 days, Monday through Thursday. There's my 5th day on Sunday. 5 days times $110 a day. Dude made more in tips this week than he did wages. That's kind of normal for the food industry anyway. So add that extra $550. Okay, now I'm not feeling bad for AJ at all. Almost 1,000 in this week. Not too bad. So basically what you see is what you get. The quiz tomorrow will be 10 questions. Okay? Similar in build to this. A lot of questions that are similar to these are in your packet. So if you haven't done those, I would suggest using this maybe as a guide to go do those so you're comfortable and ready tomorrow. Because again, anything that's in your packet, notice I did not say the review, anything in your packet tomorrow is usable as fair game.